Today we're going to talk about the 10 most common behaviors that men exhibit after a breakup. Now, each of these behaviors has not been pulled from a hat, but rather has been exhibited by one of our clients' exes, and in both situations where they got that ex back and situations where they did not get that ex back. Basically, we canvassed a lot of the people in our community. We picked the most common behaviors that we've seen exes exhibit. Let's begin. So behavior number one is the ability to distract themselves after the breakup. So what we see sometimes men doing is engaging in excessive partying, excessive drinking, spending an overabundance amount of time with friends, and sometimes even playing a bunch of video games or mobile games. And one little tweak on this behavior is sometimes we've seen them exacerbate this on a social media platform. So basically they go out and look like they're partying all night, but the reality is they went out for maybe an hour and then came back home and uploaded it to make them seem like they were out all night having the time of their lives, when the reality is they could barely stand to be out for more than an hour. Behavior number two is something called separation elation. Now, I'm like a broken record talking about this, but basically one of the things that we've seen a lot of exes exhibit is this idea of a separation elation period after a breakup. This is specifically relevant towards exes who are avoidants. So let me quote from one of my favorite avoidant attachment resources called Free to Attach with regards to separation elation. So after a relationship ends, people with an avoidant attachment style tend not to show much anxiety or distress, often feeling an initial sense of relief at the relinquishing of obligations and the sense that they are regaining their self-identity and not tending to initially miss their partner. This is separation elation, as the pressure to connect is gone. So all those times that you're worried about your ex looking overly happy after the breakup, well, I'm here to tell you that it's real. But what's interesting about separation elation is that it is a small period of time and it does end. It's a little like the honeymoon period where they're happy that they got freedom and then they start realizing how crushing that freedom can be, because freedom sometimes means you're alone. Behavior number three is social media creeping. Now, we all know what social media creeping is. You go through the breakup, you try not to look at your ex's social media stuff, but you can't help yourself, and next thing you know, it's a pattern. Every single day, you're looking to see what they're posting or who they're with or if they've moved on to someone else. And what's interesting is the research bears this out. Close to 90% of exes have admitted to Facebook creeping, according to Veronica Lucas, or Lukacs. I'm not very good with names. But basically, she was a graduate student that was conducting her master's thesis on this. And after interviewing hundreds of people in college, she found, well, 90% of them admitted to Facebook creeping after a breakup. So it's highly likely that your ex is probably paying attention to your social media after the breakup. Behavior number four is self-destructive behaviors. I've been playing around a lot with the new chatbot, ChatGPT. At first, initially, I thought it would be kind of stupid to give in to the AI craze, but I started recognizing that ChatGPT might be a great and useful tool to help me find statistics. Stuff to prove and back up what I'm saying. And so I go and I try it out and it seems great. Hey, what percentages of breakups end in a rebound relationship? And it gives me all this amazing data. And I remember literally when I started trying it out, I ran to my wife and said, "You're not gonna believe this. I just found the greatest tool ever." But then I started checking the sources. I asked it for links and found out that pretty much all the research that it was making up was false. It just sounded real. And that's important why you should always check your sources. But here's the interesting thing. When I decided to ask it about breakups in general, the one common theme that always seemed to come up with was exes exhibiting some self-destructive behaviors. I mean, take a look at this. It basically argues that after a breakup, some men may exhibit self-destructive behaviors, like giving into substance abuse, reckless behaviors, isolating themselves, being avoidant, promiscuity. In the reality, pretty much all the stuff I said before this behavior, it talked about. So it does get some stuff right, or at least it knows humans, and I think that should worry us. But here's the thing. It knows enough about basic stuff or generalized stuff to tell us common behaviors. And one of the common behaviors that stupid AI chatbot kept spitting out was reckless behaviors and destructive stuff. So yeah, ChatGPT was right in this case.